Welcome to the Songwriters Across Texas podcast. This state has a lot to offer, and music is one of its greatest exports. On this podcast, we get to know songwriters through their stories and hear some of their music. Today, we're at Arlyn Studios, and my guest is Jeska Forsyth. I'm Karl Anderson, and this is the Songwriters Across Texas podcast. By the time she was 10, Jessica Bailey's journey took her from Fredericksburg to Brady, Texas, to Colorado, and back to San Angelo, Texas. Jessica was singing from day one and played Annie at age 9. At 11, her father took her to auditions, and she had her first residency, which lasted from age 11 to 19. She fronted a band called Jeska and the Platform Souls. In her teen years, she found that the Pentecostal Church her family belonged to was disapproving of the music outside of church. But her Mimi, a Pentecostal preacher, always made sure to keep her encouraged to do her thing. And her thing is more than one thing. Musical theater, classically trained in opera, actor, professional model, clothing designer, fashion coordinator, music. Her disco rock gospel album, Murderino, is scheduled to debut in 2023. She's Austin Businesswoman's Artist of the Year and has a first Thursday residency at El Mercado. Please welcome to the show the super talented Jeska Forsyth.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, can you start us off right away with something?
Oh, sure.
Great. That's how we do it.
Sure. This is My Favorite Murder. Do you rise early and stay up late? Do you sit crooked? Do you talk straight? Do you have a plan for every room? Do you know the woods could be your doom? Do you dream about it in your bed? Do you worry you're sick in the head? Do you fear things you don't know yet? Things that haven't happened yet? My favorite murder. Things you cannot understand. What makes a woman, what makes a man? Monstrous atrocity, morbid curiosity. Never leave your drink alone. Don't leave the kids at home. Tell your secrets to your friends. Don't end up the mannequin. My favorite murder. Do you have to know it all? Sit on the edge, you take the fall. Find yourself a skeleton, an elegant American. The lesson here is to be rude. Don't be polite, don't be subdued. The worst has not happened yet. And if you're smart, you won't forget. Do you see every silhouette? Evaluating every threat. It's not until you heard the worst your defense can be rehearsed. What makes you laugh should make you cry. That's how the show goes by. Look the worst right in the face. Don't give it a hiding place. My favorite murder. Do you have to know it all? sit on the edge to take the fall. Find yourself a skeleton, inelegant American. The lesson here is to be rude. Don't be polite, don't be subdued. The worst has not happened yet, and if you're smart, you won't forget. My favorite murder. My favorite murder.
Yeah. Holy smokes. Seriously, that is crazy good. Those lyrics are amazing.
Thank you.
I was like, man, I wanted to jot certain ones down.
Yeah, I saw you were like, huh.
I was like, wow,
the skeleton line. You liked the skeleton line.
I did like that, but I liked several of the lines very, very much, and the whole song's gorgeous.
Well, thank you.
Do you start with lyrics?
So I wrote this song with Guy, my husband.
Mm-hmm. Guy Forsyth
yes,
is her husband.
Guy Forsyth.
We said her name was Jeska Bailey in the beginning, and her name is Jeska Forsyth now, but we might just call her Jeska in the whole top.
Nobody
I don't know.
knows.
Yeah, so it's Jeska. What does Jeska mean again?
Oh, Jeska is Scandinavian. It means friendship.
Jeska is Scandinavian.
And I'll be
for
your
friendship.
friend, for sure.
Jeska's here to be friends. Okay, where were we? Oh, you were talking about the lyrics. Yeah.
So Guy and I write differently. He likes to kind of get the music part all good, and then he fills in with lyrics. And the idea he had when he wrote the riff or what have you.
Uh-huh.
I am a musical theater person, and I sing talk all the time. And so a lot of my songs come from me talking out something and being like, oh, okay, I liked that. This song, we had gone to the store and we were coming home and bringing groceries in the garage, and I sat on the desk and I was like, I think we need to explain why it is that I'm trying to write this album that focuses kind of on true crime. Like, I need to give the world a reason why it is that mainly females are just obsessed with it, because it's a hard question to answer because it is so morbid.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's true, though, because you are very into the true crime, and this is why you dedicated a record to it and everything.
Yes.
We'll get to that. But the women are the ones that are really into it.
Of course, there's men in as well, but mainly it's women, and I think it's like 70% of women. And I think personally that it's because, as I said in the song, it's not until you've seen the worst that your defense can be rehearsed. Like, I've had some horrible things happen to me in my life.
Right.
I don't think that I love morbid curiosity. I don't think that I want to see people being hurt.
Right.
I think that as a woman, it's in my best defense to know what the worst thing that could happen is, because we're the only people that are looking out for us.
Right. Oh, that's a good way to put it. It's heavy it's heavy up the top with Jeska.
Activist.
But yeah, no, that's great, and I know you have a lot of other things, and we'll get to that. I wanted to talk get your story because, and this might explain maybe where some of it comes from. You know, you have. I haven't met that many people with Pentecostal church upbringings, and I'm curious what that was like. And you had, and your Mimi and all that was in the church and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's hear about that.
I grew up in the Pentecostal Church
in
San Angelo, Texas. I went to Full Gospel Assembly. It's still there. They're still doing their thing.
Okay.
And for me, it was normal. Mm-hmm. And I never knew that Pentecostal worship might be different than everybody else's kind of worship.
Right.
And so, there's pictures of me as a little girl, my Mimi, preaching from the pulpit, and there's like steps that go up, maybe like 10 of them. Mm-hmm. And I would just inch one step by one step up because I really wanted to be on the stage like Mimi. Uh-huh. And until eventually I'm like leaning against the pulpit. And so I learned how to sing.
And you would just sit there while she did her thing, and everyone was like,
she would be like, sing. You need to sing.
Oh, yeah.
So,
she got you to sit there. Okay, that's awesome. So you started. Oh, yeah. You were like singing by the time you were 3.
I think at 3 is when I started to perform, but I've been singing since I could make noises.
Right. The first word was love.
Yeah. My grandpa would, at 3 years old, started putting me on the tabletop after church at the restaurant that we would go to, and he would make me perform. I was the little trick pony.
But you liked it, I'm sure.
Obviously, I didn't hate it. I'm still out here seeking attention.
Right. Were you the only kid?
Oh, no. I'm the oldest of, there's 5 of us siblings that are all fully related, and then I've got 3 stepsisters.
Got you.
I'm not sure how many, step siblings I have actually all together, because we have my dad loves to collect them, I think. And so I think it's 24 plus, something like that. Sorry, Dad, if you're listening, I love you, but you know it's true.
Is it a Pentecostal thing?
No, it's not. And people actually growing up always thought that we were Catholic.
Uh-huh.
But we're not. My mom wanted to have 6 kids. And then my aunt had 6 kids. And then my other aunt had 4 kids. So there was a herd.
Yeah.
And it was
a lot
so
of cousins
great.
to play with.
God, it was so fun.
Yeah. We had a 2-family, 6 kids, 2 families, and cousins right up the street too. So that was a good time.
Insane.
Loved to grew up with all those bodies around you. So kick the can is on, you know. But what's the church like, and how does it affect you?
You know, I haven't been back to the church in quite a while. I'm gonna go. I've been thinking about going. The church now, how does it affect me now? I have an interesting relationship with God, because now that I'm out of the little San Angelo bubble where I thought a certain way, just to give you a quick example, I was taught in the way of politics to remember the different parties by demon rats and Republicans. And so that's kind of how I was raised. And so I didn't know any different.
Right.
And so then 5-6 years ago, I moved to Austin, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so wrong. And I'm also the mother of a biracial child, and I need to step my game up, because I've been on the wrong side of the fence the whole time. And so with religion, it feeds into that as well, because now my brain knows better, but my heart is still affected and still very much afraid of the church. And I know that sounds weird, but I was raised with a preacher yelling, and the fire and brimstone would rain down on us if we did bad things.
Right.
And now I'm doing what essentially is considered bad things. And I haven't seen any fire and brimstone yet, but, you know, the fear is there.
Yeah.
The fear is there. Like, every time another horrible worldwide thing happens, in the back of my head, I'm like, it's the end of times. Right. My Mimi's right.
Right. But the religion, that's what to me is so unfortunate about religion, is that because I grew up in the church too. I started doing plays at 9 as well, and I was the star of the play. I played Jesus, for goodness sakes. I got all the best roles, and I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. I love doing this. But spirituality and God is real, and, you know, spirituality is your own interconnection with that force. And if you can use that force to your advantage, you are, you know, fishing with dynamite kind of thing.
I just think that everyone can have their own opinion on what religion is.
Yeah.
And everyone else can just shut their mouth, because
it's
if you
private.
Don't have anything to say, don't say anything at all. Because if you do value yourself as a Christian, if you say anything, you're judging them, and you are messing up right there.
Yeah, anything that's not all inclusive is, you know, I'm suspect of. You know, but anyway, but you come from there and you get your chops there at the same time, and it is part of what makes you who you are.
It is,
and you got to embrace that, right? Yeah. So it's cool you came from that.
I love it.
I love it too. Tell me about how it got to what Annie was like to play. So, I mean, every little girl that does theater wanted to play Annie.
It was at Angelo State Theater. Angelo Civic Theater in San Angelo. Mm-hmm. And I think it was around 9 years old. I just remember singing in a big audience with all of the little girls and hoping if I sang loud enough that someone would hear me and make me famous. And it was fun. There was 2 casts. There was an A cast and a B cast, not one cast being better than the other, but it's because you're children.
Right.
And they don't want you doing that every night of the school week. So they would alternate casts, which is great.
Smart.
Yeah, the adults would be the same cast the whole time, and then they had alternating children casts. And it was just great. I made lifelong friends. I got a lifelong addiction, obviously, to theater and more attention, you know.
Yes.
I was an attention collector.
That's it.
It was just fun. I remember getting stuck hanging on one of the bunk beds during the Hard Knock Life, and I had to keep doing the dance moves, but I was hanging, and it's just theater's. there's so much energy in theater
I
because
love
it's
theater.
happening. And once it starts, it's happening whether you like it or
Yes.
not. And I don't know, I'm giving myself full body chills just
getting
even
'em.
thinking about it because I love it so much.
Me too, and I remember the times when someone missed their entrance when you've been on stage and you have to fix it, or, you know, like or somebody's got to fix it.
Something happens.
That's an amazing rush, though.
I went on stage as Sally Bowles, and I had like a 10-second costume change to go and sing the big song, you know, the big one. And my dress it broke the zipper, and it was all the way from here to here. and I couldn't bring the jacket on because I had just gotten rid of it in the last scene. And so I went out and I sang with one arm smashed as tight against me, and I just did one arm and like kind of. It was the weirdest and hilarious.
Did you pull? I bet it was funny.
Oh, it was so
you
funny.
pull it off?
Well, yeah, you have to.
And with the audience, did they figure? Like, were they with you? Were they in on it and laughing and kind of?
They weren't
showing
laughing. I bet they were like, I wonder why her arm is broken.
Right. I don't know. I've seen it happen where someone does something like that and somehow it plays. You know, like that she made a choice to do this thing. You know, and
That's the magic that they talk about.
Yes, exactly. The happy accidents is what they say.
Fall down the stairs together.
Yeah, exactly. So you do Annie. You're in the musical theater. Did you pick up guitar along? When did that come?
Well, I bought a guitar when I was in elementary school, and then I was like, "This is hard," and so I put it away.
Yeah.
Because I'm a multifaceted artist, and very luckily for me, a lot of things come to me really easily, and it didn't. And so
Right.
I was just like, we don't have time for this.
I got you.
And now, when I was in the bands that I was in San Angelo, one of the people that was kind of in charge of the band, even though I fronted it, I was not in charge. They did not want me to play instruments because they were afraid that would give me the ability to then venture off and do something else.
Oh, they were. Oh, I got you.
And so then, once again, Guy, when I met him, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! I'm gonna be a singer, and I'm just gonna walk into Austin, and I'm gonna know what I'm doing."
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know. I did not know anything. And I quickly realized that.
You did know stuff.
Oh my God.
No, you did.
I knew that I was doing it wrong.
Well, you knew how to be on stage and you know how to perform, but you also didn't. You know, there is a quality of musicianship and talent here that is, you know, like. I would never think that I would be bigger than what any of it. You know, like it's like the best of what I know. I wouldn't, as good as I might be at anything, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be able to do it that good. I don't care. I'm bowed to it. You know, it's great.
There's a woman in San Angelo named Arlyn Myer who is a singer-songwriter, and I admire her very much. I haven't talked to her in years, but at one point I had texted her when I was just kind of starting to fiddle with guitar. 5 years ago, and I said,
Guy helps you with that? Yeah.
He does. Yeah. But Ellen texted me and said, it's so nice to see another female musician taking the time to learn how to play music and not just rely on everybody else. And at that moment, I didn't have that big want. I mean, I wanted to learn how to play because it's fun, but I didn't need it. I didn't see why it was important. I didn't see, and suddenly I realized I have to still earn these things. I have to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to do it, and it's going to hurt, and I've cried on stage so many times since moving to Austin. I haven't in like 2 years, but the whole first year probably was, if I forgot words, my mind would automatically get scared, and I couldn't remember, and I'd cry. Lots of crying.
Oh, my goodness.
I have a poker face.
I'm going to change the mood. Let's play another song.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I'll change the mood too much. I got sad song.
Yeah, let's enhance it.
Sure. All right, we'll do Boxes. This song's actually by Sarah Hickman.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's right. We were talking about you. Okay, cool.
All right. Trouble with boxes, I had trouble with them. The trouble with boxes is I never fit in. The trouble with others is they forget how to knock. The trouble with others is they're living in shock. Metal's way too hard and cardboard falls apart. Paper's way too thin and cement's heavy. I'm not ready to be dropped in. The trouble with wood, the people inside. The trouble with wood is the body inside. The trouble with being dead is you can't turn back the time. The trouble with being dead is you end up in a box. Ooh. Too hard and cardboard falls apart. Cement's way too strong and cement's heavy. I'm not ready to be dropped in. The trouble with wood, the people inside. The trouble with boxes is the bodies inside. The trouble with being dead is you can't turn back the clock. The trouble with being dead is you end up in a box. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, the trouble with boxes, I trouble with them. The trouble with boxes is I never fit in. The trouble with being dead is you can't turn back the clock. The trouble with being dead is you end up in a box. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Yes. Wow, that was.
I rocked my headphones off.
That was all. I liked watching those headphones fly off. I was
Get
like,
off of
she
me.
is getting into this, man. That song sounds like it could be one of those murder ballads. Is it gonna be on the record?
It is going to be on the record, but it's not a murder ballad.
Okay.
And there's like, I don't know if you want to get into that right now or
Yeah,
not, but like
we might
murder
as well.
ballads are a thing that I'm actually kind of actively working against, which
Right.
sounds strange because I'm making a
Right.
true crime album. But I'm making this album because I want to help stop the perpetuation of female abuse.
Right.
And I don't think that people realize that songs that mostly are murder ballads, they perpetuate abuse, and a lot of them perpetuate it in a humorous way that makes it fun for the audience to
Right.
enjoy and sing along. Like Delia, oh Delia, I shot her down.
Right.
And
Right.
it's really funny. But if you really think about it, he's saying she was not how I wanted her to be, and so I beat her, and then I shot her. And then, if your woman doesn't do what she's supposed to, you should do the same thing that I did to Delia.
Right.
And so my album is about true crime, but it's coming to it from more of an angle of activism. I want to use it as a platform for change. I want to use it to help, stalking, all of these things that women have problems with, that they're really, it's 2022, and the more, we're losing all our rights.
And there's a lot that you just said, and I think that, well, first of all, like art that. It's such a hard one for me. I remember when Natural Born Killers came out, the Tarantino movie. And that to me is a very powerful movie. And it was trying to say, how we build up these really murderers in this country, and we glamorize it and everything. And so, but I believe his point was to say, you know, that's not cool, but it somehow was taken as cool. And so all my friends that watched the movie were saying the lines and laughing, and I was kind of like, I don't think that's what he meant, you know, or, you know, I don't think that's really the purpose of this, but what can you do? That's the other part. It's like people are only as far as they are. And if art can or like, you know, football, we watch football and hopefully we don't have to go to war. Like that would, you know, that we could get our bloodlust out on a sports field instead of on a battlefield, right? That would in theory be, but.
Yeah, everything evolves. I mean, the people that we are and the things that we believe now are very different than they were 100 years ago. And I want to be part of the reason that it changes.
Yes, me too. I understand that.
Yeah, and I'm working, I also work with a good friend of mine named Andy Cahan, and he's out of Houston. He works with Crime Stoppers, and he is kind of doing what I'm doing, not with an album, but he travels the world talking about murderabilia. And that's something people also don't think about, is that, I mean, you've got murderers still. John Wayne Gacy, he's in prison painting clown pictures and selling them for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
And people are buying them, so there's a demand.
Right. So that's an aspect of this country that you're kind of putting a flashlight on and
Y'all are
going,
being gross.
This is kind of creepy, isn't it? Doesn't anybody around here think this is creepy?
Yeah, I mean, think about, like, if you buy a Manson shot glass.
Right.
And you take a shot out of it. Great. But there's the people that were the families of the murderers, all of these people that know that you buying a $6 shot glass, the money goes somewhere.
Right. But I like the activism part. I wanted to ask you, it's going to be a bit of a swing, I think, but it probably not too much. Tell me what synesthesia is.
Synesthesia. It's not officially a form of autism, but it is accepted kind of unofficially as autism. It has to do with my sensory receptors and how I take in information.
Okay.
So when I sing, notes will have colors or maybe smell and it's different for everybody. My colors go along with me having really, really, really good pitch. I don't know if it's perfect, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because I emotionally and physically react when it's wrong because I feel it on many different levels than people with the normal receptors do.
Right.
And I love that I have it. I think it's my superpower. It really kind of pushes me because I feel it so deeply.
To me, it's a very magical thing that's happening with you, and then it's poetic. You know, it's just like if a color if a note equals a color, you know, that's genius. You know, it's just thank you.
Oh well,
thank you. That's very tickly. You also you have clothing designer, fashion coordinator. How do all these things come up? Because you say you're just interested in them and you start doing them.
They just kind of all bleed into each other. I mean, because I am a performer and an entertainer. I wear things on stage. I love sparkly things, and I'm poor. So I love to make them myself.
Right.
And then other people start seeing what I'm wearing, and they're like, oh, maybe I would like for you to make me an outfit. And it's slow, but it's starting, and it's exciting. I'm applying to be in the Austin Fashion Week. As a designer, I was actually nominated as Austin Model of the Year in the first ever Austin Fashion Awards.
Nice.
What was that? 2009.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've just been around it for a long time, and it's all art. I mean, people are always like, how do you do all these different things? I'm like, but if you think about it, it's the same.
It is.
Clothing and putting things on clothing is not different than putting paint on a canvas. Music,
or cooking,
yes,
for that matter.
I hate cooking,
but it's the same thing. It's creative.
It is. My daughter is an amazing cook. She's 12 and she can make us a 3-course meal.
That's cool. My dad taught me how to cook, and I was learning at that age, and I could cook. By the time I was in college, I'd come home and I'd cook stuff, and they were like, where'd you find that?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. I found this here and here. And they're like, you just we didn't even know there was anything to eat in the house.
Well, then we have the 15-year-old that's like, hey, how do you boil water?
No, boy.
Like, you better move in with your little sister when you grow up. Or...
I tell all young men, I'm like, do yourself a favor and learn how to cook. But anyway, I'm getting off track. We were talking about clothes design and art and all the different things and how they're all one. And I totally agree because I'm a playwright and I'm an actor and I'm a voiceover guy and I've done all those things. I've written a novel. Blah 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 blah.
No, I like it.
But it's I'm so happy. It's so satisfying that to do all of those things, even if not too many people saw some of it. Who cares? So you can make clothes and people will buy them, and you could build that up.
Yeah, I also do paintings and I do a form of stained glass. I don't do it the traditional way. I'm trying to invent a new way because I don't like the glass. So I'm buying old frames. And I've made this paste that's thick and black, and I'll pipe the design on the glass. And then I will mix pigment resins.
Cool.
And I'll paint and then fill in with resin. And it's awesome. And I'll sell them at my merch table too. And,
right.
And it's just, if you're going to be an artist, why not have your hands in as many things as you can? Because that you're living
Absolutely.
mouth, check to mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's nice to have other, Madam Radar is a group we've had in here.
Oh, I love them.
Good
friends of mine.
They're sweet. But so during the pandemic, they would do a show every week and people could donate to that. But then somebody had made something, like either a painting. Violet can crochet, so she'd crochet all these things, and so everybody had a thing.
Awesome.
And so every week there'd be a new thing kind of up for auction. And that's part of how they kept the doors open.
I'm going to be doing that at my residency at El Mercado, actually.
Talk about your El Mercado residency. First Thursdays?
First Thursday of every month. It's going to be me. It'll be some form of that. It'll be either me by myself, me with a duo, trio, full band. And I'm going to be painting or having something there that people can buy tickets to raffle at the end of the show because just need to figure out.
Super cool. Is this how you get to become the Austin businesswoman artist of the year because of all those things? They were like, hey, let's put her in.
I think that honestly I became Austin businesswoman of the year because I'm very driven and it is a popularity contest. And so I don't want to sit here and pretend like a panel of really knowledgeable people sat down and said, Jeska is obviously the Austin Female Artist of the Year.
Right.
I spammed my social media and asked people to vote for me. I lobbied for
That's
it.
Awesome.
It is
That's
awesome.
how most people and ever win those kind of awards.
Yeah, but
it is. But it's excellent that you had the wherewithal to do it, and because all those things point towards that. So you were just your own instead of someone else submitting you and doing all that. You just said, "Hey, look at me."
You have to do it yourself because no one else will.
Well, I'm just so thrilled that we were able to have you on the show. We're already out of time.
Oh no!
We're gonna have to do it, but we're gonna do another song, and I'm so glad that you could come down here and we could, introduce you to the kids out there. That's Jeska Forsyth, Jeska Bailey, Jeska Forsyth, or Jeska. She's got a third song. What you gonna do for us next, Jeska?
This is actually the first song I ever wrote.
Wow.
By myself.
Nice.
I had a Dolly Parton candle lit, and I locked myself in the garage till I had it. This is the one that started the whole idea for the whole album. This is Midnight Stalker. Okay. And I've had a stalker for 5 years, and it sucks, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And so this is my little platform. I hope to make some sort of change. It's in your blood, it's in your skin. Resistance you feel deep within. Intrigued and unknown, driven by desire. You take what's yours, you have to feed the fire. It's after midnight, ain't no one out you wanna see.
It's after midnight, ain't no one out but you and me. I feel your eyes upon my back, I feel your pattern, feeling like a trapped animal by your desire. I know you're here outside, you know I'm home alone, but you just keep calling, whispering in the phone. It's after midnight, ain't no one out you wanna see. It's after midnight, ain't no one out but you and me. Don't I know you? Haven't I seen you before? Don't I know you? Don't I know you? Don't I know you? Haven't I seen you before? When fantasy meets reality, when you can't function unless you see me, a no nightmare outside my door. You ask for help, you're a whore. No one's asking, no one cares. You ask for help, no one's there. It's after midnight, ain't no one out you wanna see. It's after midnight, ain't no one out but you and me. It's after midnight, 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 it's after midnight.
Hell yeah, that was hard, dude.
Yeah.
That was hard. I love it. That's so Jeska Bailey Forsyth, or Jeska. Don't forget her name. Check. What's your website?
It's Jeska. You can remember my name. It's like Fresca or like the Ickless Jess.
Jeska.
It's JESKAATX.com. I have a sound cult that I would love everyone to join. It's a nice cult. I am the leader, and we're just going to have some fun and listen to some music.
Get on that cult, people. And don't forget to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel if you're watching it here. If you're listening to this and you want to watch it, go to the YouTube channel, Songwriters Across Texas, and check it out. Thanks again, Jeska.
Thanks so
You were
much
awesome.
fun.